greatest thing for us in terms of archaeology. So if you could give a little buffer in terms of the test unit squares that are open. Now just a brief overview, we uncovered the brick foundation pretty much the first day we were peeling back the topsoil, which was a great motivator and a great thing to find on the first day of digging. The backhoe actually started back here and we pulled that way, and bricks were uncovered literally within the first 4 hours of opening up this area, which was, again, really wonderful. So what we've come to find here is you're looking at the brick foundation from a building from 1690. The House of Burgesses passed the act creating port towns in 1680. We have documentation stating by 1691 they had a brick house and several other buildings on the property. Whether or not anything grew out more than that, we really don't know. We're still trying to track down historical records of that nature.
What are the dates of the Denby Plantation?
Denby Plantation would be a little earlier, right? Because Matthews Manor turned into Denby Plantation, correct?
I think so.
I'm thinking out loud. Yeah. I don't want to throw out a date without being sure. So going back to this, we have the brick foundation. Test units have been opened up to explore what was left within. So when you're looking down into the test unit, on the bottom, that'll be the basement floor, okay? So the excavation went to about the basement floor, then they went a little further just to make sure there was nothing underneath that was sterile subsoil.
So how many stories would it have been, do you think?
Probably just one, okay. And maybe an apex roof for storage, but probably just one in the basement. So what we've done with the test units, obviously this was done with the firm. I have one I've been working on just myself. But when the firm was here, we had a budget and we had a certain number of test units we were going to open up. So the test unit locations were done for two purposes. One, to try and figure out the perimeter, the dimensions of the building, and then two, to get some diagnostic artifacts out that would tell us what the building was used for. So you can kind of look at the squares and see, well, are they playing tic-tac-toe, Connect Four, what are they doing out there? But basically, and we can jump in right now, just please be careful. There is a drop-off right here. This is clay, it's muddy, it's kind of slippery still. So you can kind of see that we've placed test units on the corners. We have our corner up here where we found the foundation. We have our corner over there where you can see it cutting in. We put one on the side here and we caught the wall over here. And then we found it over here, a corner. Alright, so we head up here and we don't find a corner. We have rubble, we have evidence of bricks, masonry, but no set corner. We've probed out here. This stuff doesn't seem like there's anything out here. We will open it up eventually, but through probing, we didn't really hit anything. So what we're thinking is that at some point in this building's existence, it's structurally or fire, we don't know. We don't have a lot of evidence of a fire. But whatever reason, we feel like the building collapsed inward, ruining this corner, maybe uprooting it at some point, and you see all the rubble and bricks kind of strewn in.
Oh, yeah.
This corner is kind of broken up, so again that kind of gives evidence that at some point something structurally happened that made this building come down. At that point it would be common for the bricks to be repurposed, taken elsewhere, reused. It's a valuable resource. You don't have to pay for them, they're right there. We do have some oral history from a gentleman who says he came here as a kid and took bricks. So, so that would have been, he was what, 80 to 90? So when he was a child, there still were bricks here, according to him.
That was past right, I think.
So
that'd be 70s and 60s.
So basically, yes, these corner ones, we're looking for the dimensions, perimeter. These ones, we're more interested in what kind of diagnostic artifacts can come out that can tell us what this building was used for. Now, from what we've found, it's been more domestic artifacts. So I believe that when the report comes out, it'll probably say this is more tavern than courthouse.
Oh.
All right, now
We
I'm going
could
to
reconstruct a tavern here, and the city could make its revenue selling beer.
Yeah.
Another great idea. We're getting tons of great ideas.
Yes.
Both the first group and the second group. So yeah, now here's the big debate and it was happening during the dig within the in the archaeology community that was out here. We have a building that is made of brick, and if you can notice, has glazed brick. Now, glazed brick is just a luxury item in terms of bricks. So, in that time, bricks are very valuable. They're hard to get, they're hard to make, they're hard to ship here. So, would they use those bricks for a tavern, or would they use those bricks for a courthouse? More prominent building, the courthouse jail. Logically, you'd think the courthouse jail, correct?
Yeah.
So what we could have happening here is that at this point, in the beginning of Warwicktown, this was the courthouse jail. And at some point, when Warwicktown moved, it became a domestic residence. And now, the last people that were here were domestic, so we're finding the domestic artifacts. So I am hoping that through conducting the remaining test units, which we have about 15 more to go, we'll be able to pull out more data, more evidence to show one way or the other. You know, we got a lot of domestic artifacts out here. We did get a couple lock and keys, but you know, we didn't get the gavel and the jail. But if you think about it, if they're making a new courthouse over there, they're going to repurpose them. They're going to take those things like bars, and they're going to make the effort to move them down to the new one. Yes?
Did you find any coinage?
No, amazingly not. We haven't found a coin here yet.
Have you tried to date some of the things in that courthouse to maybe to figure out if they're older than
No, we have not, but I'd almost have to, you'd have to find an item that would have been transferable, and then, but no.
Yeah.
I don't really know how many authentic items still remain. So that would be the hardest thing, finding that artifact first. And then, but that's a wonderful idea.
Have you shells in that strategy? It do look like seashells.
There will be some oyster shells mixed in there. Yep, there's some oyster shells mixed in. That would have been a food source, and then they would have saved the shells for, you know, sidewalks and kind of gravel material. So everything was repurposed if possible.
Well, it's interesting. I noticed when I took a code class with the City of Hampton to understand our historical structure that we bought and other historical structures in Phoebus, I noticed that they are beyond today's codes. Like this here, like if this extends out as wide as that, these footings are wider than expected today in today's code.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, as if that's why our house lasts that long. So we have city codes came out to make that comparison, like we did, to understand our historical home and how to save it.
No, not in this site and not in this instance. No.
Because this is wider than these are wider than a regular commercial footing if it didn't have 3 or 4 stories.
Right, and it might have been just what they knew back then. It might have been for other reasons, the wind. If you look in that test unit, we see an interesting architectural feature of what appears to be stairs, but they're very shallow. So was this architectural foundation technique, or was it stairs? And if you see over there, that is actually a little jut out that is not mirrored on this end. So for some reason, they take the foundation and go out for that quote-unquote staircase, but we don't see that over here.
Stairs to the basement.
One would think, if not stairs, something they could build off of maybe, since they are so shallow. Interestingly enough, if you go to the Warwick Courthouse complex, the courthouse they built has those jut outs on each side.
Oh, really?
So, which added to the debate on site of whether this was the courthouse, jail, or the tavern. Because you see that mirrored in the new courthouse. The ones that go out.
Are you talking about the little building or the newer building, the bigger 2-story building?
No, not the 2-story. The smaller ones.
You have to go back to the right if you're looking from Old Courthouse Way. You have the 2-story and then the little one that used to be the library.
Yeah.
And so are the jet outs at the front?
I think it's the front.
Is there any historical data on the population?
There's tax records and stuff, but from the Warwicktown time, no. We don't have those records. We don't have the plot. I mean, these were documents that kind of said, lay out your town like this. and we don't have that information. I suggested the city send me to England to do some research, and they haven't responded to my question yet. First class, I don't know if that was the kicker. I said first class, you know, but yes, this is one we just recently opened up. More of the work this summer was done at the Civil War site down there, because I knew they would fill in with water when this wet weather came. So we actually got a couple of features completed down there this summer. Up here, depending if you took the tour last summer, you might be seeing some new test units here, but you might have seen pretty much a lot of what we're looking at now, with exception for this. Which brings me to this dark area right here. If you were here with that shovel test map I pointed out, the boxes, the 3 boxes that were located on that map, this is prior excavation from 96, I believe, or 99, where this is an archaeological trench that they opened up and dug, and you can tell, and you can see how that changed the color. And it's a good example of stratigraphy and how we find features, even though this is a modern disturbance, a modern investigation. You can kind of see they did hit bricks, and it is noted in the report. The reports are available online on the website. You're welcome to go look them up and read them. But yeah, just how close they were to a substantial wall, and they just nicked the corner. It shows you in archaeology how close you can be and still just not there. So this area has been excavated, investigated. A lot of the artifacts you see, if you ever were privy or entitled to get into that Discovery Center, Visitor Center over there, it's since closed. It's structurally not safe anymore, but artifacts from this dig were on display over there.
Okay. I was here last summer and fall, and I made video when the archaeologists were out here working. So if you go on SaveRiverviewFarmPark.com, you'll see some videos of the actual working here.
You might have been on a tour where we were actually excavating the Civil War component here too. Right. So you might get a good example of those. Right.
There's a big tent. Guy was hot and sweaty down in the bottom.
Yeah, we're going to go to that spot. Now, it's just, we're going to go down to where a well was found.
Yes.
Now, it's been totally excavated, so you're going to look at a big muddy puddle.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try and, with the help of imagination, and I got some pictures up at the artifact table, we'll explore that a little bit. But this is the main Warwicktown site component, as well as the well that we found during this investigation. What's interesting is with all this area we cleared, this half tied into Warwicktown, and this half over there tied into the Civil War. We had a bunch of cooking encampments, and if you remember where the earthwork was, if you walk straight that way, you'll hit the earthworks. So we have the earthworks out there, people defending, working, soldiers working. They come up here to eat. They're eating their meals to go back to work. And then way over there in that front field site is where we found their encampments. So obviously you wouldn't want to sleep right next to the cannons, because if you're taking fire during a battle. So the housing quarters were way back there, eating, and then up there the earthworks. So it's unique in the fact that we do have the Warwicktown component and the Civil War component, and that's primarily what we found in this area. We can walk down to the well area. Again, we're just looking, we're just kind of using our imagination. I'll explain it. While you're walking down here, if you look down, there is the possibility of you to see artifacts popping up through erosion. If you stay to the left, there's a lot of erosion channels. Ceramic glass will pop up. It's just an artifact-rich area, so we have that going on. The plant life actually is helping stop the erosion, so that's why we're not trimming it or manicuring the growth interior-wise. This is all covered up. So what vegetation you do see is kind of growing under tarp. And so yeah, this is our kind of major find of the investigation, and a substantial one at that.
Where were you for the picture that's in the paper this morning? It looked like a bigger wall.
All right, I don't know, because my phone's been blowing up. I didn't know I was going to be in the paper today. I'm basically wearing the same outfit. I did wash it last night because I got dirty, just to say that. I'm guessing if it was a brick wall, I was more here.
But it looked like the brick wall.
It looked very high, yeah.
High.
You're gonna have to go to the Daily Press photographer.
We
and
should
get all
have
his
brought the
pictures.
picture.
But I don't know. My
He
phone
must
was
have gotten
buzzing.
here and shot it.
My phone
Well,
was
no, it
buzzing
looked
during the
like-
first
it-
interview.
yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
get a
in
chance. I look at it and
It looked
it's a
like
picture of
this
me on the
one was
Daily Press. So
But
I
he
don't
wasn't
really know yet.
standing on top. Unless somebody was down there taking a shot upward, maybe.
Upward, yeah.
Photoshopping.
I think so. He was down there
Well,
clicking away a bunch.
Oh.
But yes, we did have the
must
Daily
have
Press
laid
on
down
site yesterday. They wanted to get some information, get a tour. They weren't able to come to this event, so they asked if they could have a little special time.
Well, I like it that they put it in the paper on the day that these were happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. I didn't know until during the first when my phone was blowing up.
Was it Josh Ray's?
It
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Very involved in the history of the area and very enthusiastic about it. So it was overall a great interview. I haven't read the report yet, so.
Looks good.
All right, good, great.
Article was good.
But yeah, we can walk down here and look at the remnants of the well. The well went about 14 feet deep.